with another Christmas card. And this is a lot of resist on it. It's a lot of fun to make though, but lots of steps. Oh, let me do this here so you can kind of see what I used Lovely as a Tree from Stampin' Up! Here and here, only because I have not found the most perfect snowman stamp yet. I used the new Tim Holtz set Christmas Nostalgia. I used the background and the Santas. A 2-inch circle punch. You'll need this or a way to punch or cut a circle out, and you'll see that in a bit. Black Archival. Stampin' Up! Not Quite Navy. Blue glittery embossing powder. Distress Weathered Wood. Black Chipped Sapphire. Tumbled Glass. And of course my applicator tools with foam on them. Versamark. Acrylic blocks to hold my stamps. I used the Jumbo embossing ink pad. And this is blue, and this really helps when I for the background, since I wanted it to come up clear. I have my scrapperfect.com. Swipe this on the paper, and it keeps the embossing powder from sticking where you don't want it, which I used before I stamped my sentiment. So clear embossing powder. I use a funnel tray because I have one. You can always use just a piece of paper folded, and of course my sentiment. So there really is a lot to this, but it's not difficult. So move my supplies and things out of the way. Okay, and you know, of course I did a 5x7 because I have a gazillion of them. Now, this took me I probably made this 5 times, figuring out which paper I liked how the ink reacted to it. So you may want to take some scraps and see how your ink's going to react on it before you commit to this full-blown design. What I ended up doing was taking my card base and cutting it into just cutting it into a piece that I will mount onto another card, and this is 475 by 675, so it's a 1/4 inch all the way around, less than the card base. There, so I can see it. You need a piece of scratch paper the same size, 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. And we're going to use this to make the template for our moon and our hills. And I marked which side is up and which side is down. I did the same thing on my my piece that I cut from my card, so I can't possibly screw it up. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to need a pencil or a pen, something to draw on the face of your card with. And I just freestyle hills. And if I don't like it, like I thought that was too thin, you know, it's just a piece of scratch paper and a pencil. And then just put my second one in here. Let's give it a little more curve. Okay. And I could get futzy with this, so I'm going to stop now. Oh, I don't want that, so... There. I like that better. Okay. Okay, the next thing is the moon. And I really, it really is a 2-inch circle. And you'll see why you want this. And you don't want it too high or too low, otherwise your Santa and this is flexible to a degree, so Santa could be way down here. This is sort of where my Santa is. And I can see through the bottom of my punch. Oh, I don't want. And this is all personal. You know, you don't have to do this exactly the way I'm doing it. But this sure shows you a couple of really cool techniques, this video. Don't have the circle too close to any edge. You won't like that, though. Okay, set this aside. Line this up and with a pencil, lightly draw this in. And this is so you know where to stamp your Santa and reindeer. am going to be embossing with clear, and I swiped it because I really don't want any more straight granules than I need, that absolutely have to be there. It does change how things turn out in the end. So now I tried this with several inks and just with Versamark, and then doing it with then coloring it in with black embossing powder, and this is the way that worked best all around, was just using the archival black. There's something about the ink and the pad that does a nice job on this blackout stamp. Just patting the pad, get the ink on. And it's alcohol ink, so it dries pretty quickly. So I want to do this, and then I want to get to my embossing powder. And it's not critical that you emboss it. But I like how it turned out better. So, now my heat gun. Come on, warm up you. There we go. Make sure this is good and dry. I don't want it tacky. I am done with the black. I use an alcohol-free baby wipe. And clean my stamp. It does a pretty good job. And, you know, if you keep your stamps clean and you don't use alcohol on them any more than you absolutely have to. Now, I have used this stamp several times with the black archival, and it's not terribly stained yet. Done with that. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is the moon. I'm going to erase my pencil mark because I don't need it, don't want it. No matter what you do, embossing powder just goes everywhere. Okay. this up. It's exactly where you put it. Now this is where the, where are you, weathered wood comes in. Now use a light hand. Don't try to get dark and tight up against the edges, because if you leave it light, that gives you your halo around your moon, which I think is preferable. There it is. And just see, now you have a nice cool winter moon. Now the ink is wet enough that will probably adhere some of the embossing powder, and we are going to clear emboss again. But I'm going to use my Versamark. I just want to make sure that it does a good job, and I'm going to do 2 layers. And that wasn't 2 layers, that was just me scooping it on twice. I better get my board down. You don't want to heat directly on your cutting mat, it'll warp. Get back there, you're fixing to fall over. Goodness. Okay, while it's still hot, I am going to put my second layer on. And, you know, if you're not comfortable with trying to be this quick, absolutely, I see that didn't just, I'm going to have to glue it up again, get this melted, and run the glue on it. Well, you want the moon good and covered. You don't want any of the ink you're laying down to stain it. So I am going to do another layer of Versamark and make sure I have this moon good and protected with the clear embossing powder. Much better. You can tell that it's got the embossing powder on it. Okay. next thing is you need to cut out your heels. Don't cut them apart. Just cut on the very top lines you've made. You won't need that top piece again, but I use it for stamping off onto. Okay. Now I'm going to use a little bit of painter's tape to hold that template down. And this just keeps everything right where I need it, so I can work hands-free. Okay, so now here, the snowflake stars, whatever they are for you. And this is where the blue, the tinted, comes in really handy. You just can't see clear very well. And I'm going to go this way. Okay, make sure you got it nice and juicy, because you got to be able to see the blue. And you need to move a little quickly. Oh. Do not lay these on their heads. The glue just rolls out of it. I know, because I'm an idiot and I did that. So it's worth just pumping the pad to get the glue up. It's really working better on one side than the other. Oh, come on, you. I really want to see the blue. One. There's two. It's not going to be much on the other end. And three. That wasn't taped down, so it just pulls right up, and put the embossing powder on it. I don't know if you can see or not. I hope you can. Yeah, that's just where I want it. Now you can take a brush and brush off where the stars are overlaid on things you don't want, but it just doesn't matter. Everything already has embossing powder on it, so it's just going to melt right into it. Oh, I can clean my stamp off. You'll find these stamps in my eBay store, and they will soon be in my own personal online store at scrappingandstamping.com. There's also a link to it from my design site, koalacat.com. Alright, nice and clean. Okay. Now, the blue is also going to help me see that the embossing powder has melted. And don't worry if it's still blue underneath, it will dry to clear. You'll notice those snowflakes just disappear right onto the black and the moon. Yeah, I love this heated tool. I don't carry them yet in my store, but I am going to. It is so very quiet. You have to be a little more patient because it's not blasting air out. But I haven't burnt anything yet either. Okay. Now the next thing I'm going to do is ink in my mountains. I'm done with the embossing powder, so I'm going to put it away and give myself some room here. Done with the big pad. Okay. Alright, put this back. Wipe the top. Tumbled glass, distress, just along the edges here. A nice firm pressure. To just cut off this bit. Now you can make your little heels any way you want to. Do not have to be my shaped. Just how my hand does them. Okay. Just want this line nice and dark. And don't worry about perfection. It just isn't necessary. Okay. We're done with these. Of course, if you're going to make more than one of these, I would hang on to them. Now I am going to switch to my my larger tool and pad. Just start inking this up. Gives me a nice edge all the way around. Now I go up in here. Now I'm going to do the whole sky in tumble glass. You can already see how the resist is working. We've got nice bright snowflakes there. Okay, I'm done with the tumbled glass. The next is the chipped sapphire. And, you know, do this as long as it looks right to you. And I'm just coming down, bringing that night sky down. It's supposed to be midnight after all. Leaving some glow. depending on how you feel, you can leave it like that, or you can add some black at the top to make it even darker. I'm okay with this, so I'm not going to add black this time. Take my rag and over the top of my moon. Everything else here, try to get the things that are supposed to shine to shine. Isn't that lovely? Okay. The next thing is stamping whatever you want to be on your hills. And I happen to have trees. And so they are what I'm going to use. And this is where Not Quite Navy comes in. I did it with black, and it was way too dark. And on this card, I used another Stampin' Up! Color, Night of Navy, and while it's lovely, I want to see how the Not Quite Navy will do. Okay, so bring back my template. I'm going to put one tree behind and maybe one tree in front this time. So much fun you can have with stamping. There you go. Actually put the right side on the ink pad. Yeah, I like the Not Quite Navy better. Pull this little tree out of this. Oh, let's see, I need to cover tape because you don't want this mess on there. I just don't have a smaller fir tree stamp. Okay, that in the foreground. I suppose I could have cut this apart, but I don't really want to. Oh, pardon me. See, right now I'm just going to have to get me some more sizes of trees. To just curl up, tab it, okay, well, there's so many things you could put on your snow mounds. There could be a cabin tucked back in there. There could be deer. Really cute to have a snowman waving at Santa. Thing to put on is the sentiment. This has to be dry. Otherwise you're going to have this glitter stuff everywhere. And you don't want that. You worked really hard to get to this point. Just either set it aside and wait, or do what I'm doing and give it a nice dry with your heat gun. But in all this work, it would be a shame to have it a big mess, because something was a little bit wet. Okay, first I mark my sentiment, my Scrap Perfect, and you know it's some kind of powder that's in here, and I don't know what it is, that comes through that felt just perfectly. Greetings. Okay, almost done. One more step. Come out a little bit. Oh, bother. Sorry, I need some room. Because I need my scoreboard. This step is absolutely optional, but I am going to score so I have a raised edge, and I'm going to start at a 1/4 inch and get some more room on this edge. See if I can bring it in. Okay. So now I want this to be a frame, so I'm going to be careful here. You could mark it with a pencil if you want on the back. A 1/4 inch and about a 1/4 inch there. And to about a 1/4 inch from the edge. I'm going to turn it and do the same thing. On all 4 sides. Now it's got a little raised edge to it. You could take this further, go in another 1/8 of an inch and do the same thing till you have it done all the way around. Now would be a good time to go inside and do some stamping or whatnot if you wanted to make this, to finish the inside. You could certainly put, a row of the trees on here. It would look lovely. Let me just adhere this to the face. And you won't see me standing up going to try to go straight on, because if you get these 3 edges about the same, the 4th takes care of itself. There we go. Another Christmas card. Y'all have a great time. I hope you have fun making this, or use it as inspiration. And I'll see you again with another one. Bye-bye.